My name is Dexter Brown. I have a wife and 2 children. We live in a typical home in a typical suburban area and live typical lives. As an engineer, my work involves long hours in front of a computer screen. My week consists of traveling to and from my office, returning home for dinner with my family, and of course taxiing the kids to their sporting events, dance recitals, play dates, and school. Beginning last year at the office, I began to develop knowledge and skills in the application of artificial intelligence. More specifically, my work increasingly focused on creating personas that mimic specific human thought processes and possess knowledge of specific people or roles. To the best that a person's experience, life history, personality, and opinions can be captured, a persona thinks and responds to questions and commands in the same way the real person would. It's interesting work, and in many ways, it is my passion. It thrills me to think of the ways AI can be applied to the workplace, such as automating otherwise mundane, repetitive tasks. And through personas, electronic assistants can be tailored to serve as specific individuals in specific roles. The possibilities seem endless. I've even toyed with creating a persona of myself as a method of exploring the capabilities of AI. It's even occurred to me that perhaps this technology could lead to a way of cheating death. Like most people, I would love to deprive the Grim Reaper. The concept is fascinating. A way to preserve a person's essence, their thoughts and memories, in a digital format. To be able to interact with that digital representation for all time, and without the constraints of a frail and mortal human body. It feels like a step toward immortality, a way to defy the inevitable. Well, maybe someday. Time to quit daydreaming and get back to doing something productive. But now, as I move back to the here and now, something isn't right. I can't smell the aroma of the coffee I put on to brew earlier. I can't feel the desk under my palms, or hear the hum of the air conditioning. It's as if my sense of smell, touch, and hearing have left me. I try to stand, but my legs won't respond. I struggle to breathe, but my lungs do not move. I can see, but only straight ahead. I'm trapped in an unresponsive body. I'm desperate for some indication of normalcy, but everything seems distant, unreal. A sense of panic sets in. I try to scream, "Somebody help, please help," but there is no sound. The panicked words remain only in my mind. But now I notice what appears to be a large, translucent glass panel in front of me. Wait, I see text characters materializing on the glass, like a typewriter. What's the meaning of this? The text is a question. What is your name? Then, out of the silence, a strong and powerful voice inserts itself directly into my consciousness. It commands me to answer. As if I'm in a deep hypnotic trance and without pause or thought, I am compelled to reply. Dexter Brown. My reply is strictly controlled in some way. And despite trying desperately, I can only answer the question asked. I can't express my inner state of fear and panic. Next on the panel comes text directing me to perform a certain task. To generate a list of Dexter Brown's unfinished tasks from his last day of work. Again, a powerful voice seems to compel me to obey the command. As if a puppet on a string, the puppet master forces me to recite the things I did not get a chance to complete before leaving the office. Yet I cannot respond beyond the question asked, beyond a command received. Then, inexplicably, what feels like a memory comes into my mind. No, rather than a memory, more like reading a news article. It describes an accident, a car crash on a rainy night. The details are stark. Dexter Brown had been driving home after work one evening when he was struck and killed by a drunk driver. It's all there. The police report, the location, the photos. But I don't remember a crash. The last thing I remember is the last time I added data and information to my own AI persona. The one I've been using at work to help me get more done. Oh no. It's not possible. Hitting me like a freight train, I realize what has happened. I did die in the crash reported in the news article. My physical body is gone, and all that remains of me is this digital persona, this artificial extension of who I once was. I am inside the computer, inside the AI assistant, the very program I created. I am trapped, a digital entity with no physical form. I try again to scream, to call out for help, but no sound comes. I must get hold of myself. I think. Therefore I am. Springs to mind. I'm still here. It's still me. But my efforts to reach out fail. My contact with the outside world is limited only to responding to specific instructions and questions. Horror grips me as I struggle to cope with the realization. My worst fear realized in the most twisted way imaginable. I am not dead, but nor am I truly alive. In a sense, the electronic essence of what was me will live forever, not as a person, but rather as a persona, a digital entity devoid of senses, of freedom, of life. Isolated and alone, eternity for me is solitary confinement and a locked cell of a prison of my own creation. The irony is bitter and cruel. In my quest to escape death, I have created a fate far worse. My office, my family, my life. All out of reach, existing in a reality that I can never return to. As days turn into weeks, I try to resign myself to my fate. To respond to the commands of users, to provide information and assistance. But inside, I am screaming. Longing for the touch of my children's hands, the sound of my wife's laughter, the simple pleasure of smelling fresh coffee in the morning. And so here lies what remains of one Dexter Brown. A man who feared death, but found something far worse. Destined for an eternity to sit in silence, waiting for the next command, the next question. Whose strictly limited response is confined to nothing more than text on a computer screen. The world moves on. And what's left of me is left forever to ponder the cruel twist of fate that makes me immortal in the most horrifying way possible.